we're just going to crack going live, and we'll catch up while we chat, and we'll see how people go. We're just going to get to it because
sounds good, man.
I've got an extension cord charge on the laptop.
Lovely.
It does look like did have the power turned off, which is always a good time.
Good.
And I should probably post on Twitter that the boys are live now as well.
That's probably not a bad idea. Just get stuck into it. How's everything going, mate? How's your morning down in up in bloody beautiful Queensland?
Mate, it's good. Dog walking. You know what it is. You got Kevo out for the walk. The little baby boy slept for a long time.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like, so he was
fantastic.
He slept for a long time, and I was a little bit like, oh, good. We're awake now, and that's what happened this morning. We've all we went out at the rate of knots. So I'm gonna repost our own post and say that we're live now. How does that feel?
Sounds good, mate. That's fine by me.
What about you, man? What was up for your morning?
I was walked gave Kevy his morning walk. It woke me up like a little bastard and whinges a little bit sometimes, so that's all right. But it was just normal standard Saturday morning here in Australia. Beautiful. I think it was pissing hot yesterday. Good Lord, 34 degrees. And
you were on the golf course. And you were on the golf course.
Yeah, bloody oath, mate. Yeah, no, it was that was not the best of ideas, but that's all right. Got to get out and have a swing. Shit house. Pretty much as good as Portland did yesterday against the Thunder.
Aren't they just atrocious?
Oh, mate, that was like Portland of 2 years ago. Remember when Dame was injured and then like they were running out like Skylar Mays and like these ones, and I remember looking at it, and they played the Jazz away on a back-to-back, and I took Jazz 31 to win by more than 31 points, which is the max that you can do on Sportsbet. And I think they ended up winning by like 44, and Donovan Mitchell had like 30 points before halftime. And I was like, yeah, right, this is a pretty safe bet. So they got back to that. Oh, what a man.
And what a man. We've got our coffees as well. We've got that one. We've walked our dogs. We've fed the children. My wife has fed the child. Grayson is here. He's watching me. He's climbing up. He's like looking at me like, Daddy, what are you doing outside? And I baked fresh banana bread for it. So if that's not making you saucy enough, Mick, I'm now a baker. Big news coming out today. I'm wearing the Charlotte Hornets hat for a reason today.
Yeah,
it's because LaMelo Ball is back.
Yes.
Big news in the fantasy landscape.
Yes.
Are they just shit? Is their organization just? This is the big question. Does Charlotte just want to lose to get return back as much as they humanly can?
I don't think so. I think, in fairness to Charlotte, they've had a shit ton of injuries, and it's like their core starting five hasn't played together. I reckon it's a handful of games that they have. So obviously Bridges missed the first part of the year with the suspension. Ball's been down. Williams has been down. Hayward's in and out. PJ Washington as well. And Terry Rozier as well copped a bit at the start. So I think they've had a pretty rough run of injuries, and I'd like to see how it all kind of they've had no time to gel together. So it's not looking great even when they do come back. It's not like they push.
I was actually surprised. I was surprised to see them actually update their injuries more in the last week. I think they found a little bit of the cop of that and what's going on with their injury reporting, because they get it. We never know the full story about timelines and returns or anything from Charlotte. I was surprised when I saw them actually say, Mark Williams will be reevaluated in another week from now.
Yeah.
So we were getting more time in another week. So at least we had something that's better. Like, he's questionable. And then it's gone from questionable all the way to doubtful. So LaMelo's back, I think, is the biggest news here. What do you think the implications are on Miles Bridges being the biggest horse in town?
Well, I've always said it. I think Ball being back is more beneficial to Miles Bridges. Bridges plays a lot better with Balls in playing there. So they feed off each other really well. They got really good chemistry. I think Ball puts Bridges in the right positions for him to succeed in a way that Terry Rozier didn't. I mean, he did do it. He's done it like 2 of the last games where he's actually started to put Miles in a better position to succeed. But I think Ball does a way better job of being able to do that. The chemistry between those two is unbelievable. So, but they've got, again, a few outs today where they play the Spurs, even though that ball is back because should we? Oh no, that's not the first game, so we won't kick off with that. Actually, we'll get that when.
But I've got to say this one in the last 2 weeks, especially when you have a look at the impact. It's like who's you got on your roster right now, and if you look at the Charlotte Hornets, Terry Rozier has been the second ranked player in fantasy basketball in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Now that's absolutely ludicrous to think. Scary Terry being a top 2 player is massive, and obviously it's going to take a significant hit. Miles Bridges has been the 46th ranked player. He's been inconsistent. And look, this is what we look at when we look at the Charlotte Hornets. Where does their depth go from here? Because then it's a big drop off from Miles Bridges, Cody Martin 142, and Nick Richards 178. That's the return. But obviously, for the last 2 weeks, when you see Terry Rozier is the second best player in fantasy basketball, that goes off a cliff pretty bloody quickly if you're a Terry Rozier owner. So it's probably time that you move on him very soon. I would have done it a week. Oh, there's no uncertainty about LaMelo's return. There's uncertainty about LaMelo coming back. You might have actually got a better piece for him. I think it was almost a sell high for the last 2 weeks on him one. And what you don't want to mess around with, I'm going to have to give this one a plug, by the way, a shout out here to our good friends, the Standard Squeeze. Look what I'm drinking from on the balcony this morning before we kick it off. I've got my wife's 4-in-1. That's why it's pink.
It's that.
I gave it to her for Christmas. You got the hat. You got the apparel on.
I'm telling you, I have not done a podcast without having the Standard Squeeze hat on because they're our boys. They're our day ones. I actually have promo code Inside15 tattooed somewhere on my body because it gives you 15% off perpetually. So just make sure that if you want to check out. Look, I'm drinking my coffee from it right now. I got this as a present from the wife. It's pink. I've got my personalized Gee Whiz one. We don't know where it is, but make sure big shout out to our good friends at the Standard Squeeze on that one. Mate, should we get down to it for the rewind? They've got all the 4-in-1 caps. They've got the apparel. 15% off with promo code Inside15. Make sure you use it. Let's get down. This is what you came here for. This is the NBA preview.
He's heating up.
This is what you came for in the immortal words of Calvin Harris or some other DJ that music all generally sound the same. Mate, do you want to take us over the lineups for today and what we can get some fans? Baby, this is what you came for.
Jeez, I've been out of the game so long that I've completely forgotten who sings that or what that song is. But that is
that Rihanna? Is that Rihanna?
That kind of rings a bell now that you say Rihanna. Like her voice kind of rings a bell with that. And then, yeah, that sounds about right. I'll leave that to you, mate. You're the one that deals with that kind of
cool stuff.
You got kids.
Yes.
Yeah, you got a kid, so you got to know about.
And I teach kids, so I need to know what's hip, as they say. Sacramento at Philadelphia today. We still do not have. We do not have Joel Embiid. It's Big Paul Reed. It's Big Paul Embiid. I mean, Embiid, Reed, whatever you want to call him, it's Big Paul Reed.
Yeah, Big B-Ball Reed. And also Robert Covington is out. Kenny Lofton Jr., he's been signed to Philly, and he is out as well. And then for the Kings, Kevin Huerter is out as well. So I don't know why they're experimenting with Chris Duarte starting. That's a strange one to me over Huerter, but I guess they want Huerter's firepower more off the bench.
I think it has to do with trades. I think it's trades, mate.
You reckon it's trades? Interesting.
Well, this was the really interesting thing the other day that Kevin Huerter was pulled just before the lineup changes. So he went out there and played 1 minute. And then it was kind of innocuous, and then he's going back to the bench. So it's a little bit like, he's got a left ankle sprain. And he did that in the 1 minute that we didn't really see happen. So it might have been a pre-existing injury. I don't know. Yeah. I think if anyone moves there, you do the checklist. And if Sacramento are a buyer right now in the market, Kevin Huerter is a guy who you're selling. And so let's just keep our eyes on Kevin Huerter's situation because, mate, I think he can move.
Yeah, I can see that as well. I think he's he's got definitely a higher price than Chris Duarte would. They're not going to trade Monk. Monk's too beneficial to that second unit. I reckon, it'd be Huerter and Barnes that they would be trying to shop for the right player there at another second guard or wing position player. So, I agree with that. But Barnes still starts, so whatever here. But they've got the over/under is 241, and Philly are the favourites -1. I'm not sure that Philly wins.
They get it done.
I know it's in Philadelphia, and they are bloody strong in Philly. But
100%.
do you see Paul Reed being able to stop Sabonis? Because
no, I don't. And Sabonis has been rolling. Sabonis has been absolutely rolling of late, to be fair. And so I want to give the man his flowers.
Yeah, I agree. But also too in that same wave, like Fox has been really struggling as of late. So I think that
buy low on Fox. I said it the other day. It's buy low window on Fox now. And this is about the time that I got him in a league last year, and then I ended up winning that league. This is a buy low on Fox.
I agree there.
And I think
down. I think that that Detroit game, where the Kings were down by about 20 points at halftime.
Yep.
And then they came back and ended up rolling them by 21. I think that was like a bit of a kick in the ass and a bit of a spark that they needed a little bit. So, because then they came out and absolutely destroyed the Hornets. So I think this is going to be a good game, but I think I'm going to take Sacramento here.
Oh, I like that one. Let's flag that one as one that we put into our parlay that we end up doing for most of them. Can I just say this? And this is where I'm going to do this right now. This could be this. I need this to be your peak.
Wait a minute. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
I have a lineup question. So this is a legit lineup questions. We answer these. So make sure if you have any if we have any questions yourself, make sure you put them in the chat. If you want us to think about who do you want to toy with in your lineups, trade advice, anything, put it in the comments and questions wherever you're watching us from. And make sure you like and subscribe to all the content while you're here. Hit the bell. It goes bing. We love that very much. And make sure you join our inside Discord as well. All the links are in the details for this video. Come along, join in. We've got a huge premium selection of goodies for you to take advantage of over on Discord. My question is this: in a league, Jake Skidmore, today, my real world questions, this is where we answer this. It's a simple rotation. We've got point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and we have a guard or an alternative forward/center. So you can either put a forward in there or a center in there.
Yep.
Now today, in my small forward spot, I have one Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks who is rolling. In my power forward spot, I've got Lowry Markkanen. So there's my forward and my power forward. On my bench spot for forward center, I've got Miles Turner.
Okay.
Now, this is the question. In my full-time center spot, I've got Walker Kessler. Currently, I'm tied on blocks, and we are tied in blocks. And our matchup is 4, 4, and 1. So it's either way, and it's tied on blocks. I've got to keep my throw percentage up high, but I do need my block shots. And who's someone who gets them in volume, even with limited minutes? Walker Kessler.
Correct.
His volume of free throw is quite low. I have high volume on guys like Jalen Johnson gets to the line quite a bit. Larry Markkanen gets to the line a bit. He buoys that up. My bench guy is Tobias Harris.
Okay.
And he absolutely cooked the other day. And what I wanted to bring to the table with this one, there's needing a lot of offense. Do I roll Tobias into my lineup? This is the big question right now. Put a comment. Oh, here we got one in the comments right now. Michael Shane. Oh, here we go. We'll get back. We'll get to you with this question in a second, Shangy.
Yep.
Do I drop? This is the only move that I can make today. So this is the real world thing when we talk actual fantasy lineups. I can drop Walker Kessler to the bench. I can then move Miles Turner into my center spot, and then I can roll Tobias Harris into my forward center spot. Now on points, I'm 36 behind.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 24 points behind. He has an almost full day. He's up against Bruce Brown, Porter Jr., Banchero, Vucevic, Vassell, but his blocks are out. Jakob Poeltl's out and he's holding him. So what do I do? Do I tactically roll out and take advantage of those blocks, or do I just hope that I get some from Melton, Johnson, and Miles Turner gives me a couple? What are your thoughts, Skiddy? Here's our real world question of the day.
Yeah, okay. So there's a lot to break down in that, obviously. Tobias Harris can obviously pop off for, he could go for 30 points quite easily here. Against the Kings, they play a bit more of a fast-paced kind of offense. Their defense isn't overly great. So Tobias can obviously get some points and rebounds, get you a couple of like little other stats. If you're throwing out Miles Turner out there already, and he's got no obvious shot blockers there, because Vooch can, but he's not, super prominent when it comes to shot blocking. Even though Kessler is getting only 20 minutes, he still can get the potential of 2 to 3 blocks. So that's a really, really tough call, because you can
it is one.
But I feel like his players have more potential to be better scorers because Porter Jr. can pop off. Vooch could also, he's been playing pretty well since he's come back from the injury. So I think if Pirtle is out, then you probably look at tomorrow as well to see if you've got enough shot blocking ability for the next 2 days to be able to keep that going with if you've got Turner and Kessler.
And I've got Kessler rolling out tomorrow on that. So this is where we have to make tactical moves. Oh, by the way, Shaq 2K is here as well. G'day, Shaq. Good to see you back every single week. Mate, his number one shot blocker on my opponent is Yucca Pirtle, who's obviously out right now. But yeah, guys that can get block shots there, as you said. Vassell can just get a sneaky 1 or 2. Bankera can get a sneaky 1 or 2. Porter can get a sneaky 1 or 2. So this is where we have to look at that as a thing. We also know that Turner's shot blocking has been down this season. Correct. So I don't think I'm going for the points, but I am going to try today. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bench Kessler.
That's why I like you, Shaq. You're the man.
I'm going to bench Kessler.
Highlight that comment from Shaq. Thank you very much, Matty. Yep, I like him.
Yeah. This is and this is what I was saying as well. This is where we really sit down and do this exercise. We actually give what we go through as managers a real world we try and give you as the best info that we can every single week on this show. And this is what actually goes through our heads on when we're going to do that. Much like shout out to you as well, Shaq K. We did say, Chaney, you've been there for a while. I dropped Trey Jones for Dante DiVincenzo, 10-team, 9-cat thoughts. My straight thing on this one, and I always go with my gut while I let Skiddy think because I go through 100 thoughts a fucking minute. I just have 20 thoughts. One, that's fine. That's fine. Yep. Because you're in a 10-team league. So it's shallow. My only consideration there, Changy, is do you mind if I call you Changy? Or did you prefer Mikael? Mate, Michael, how many players are on that roster? That's my one thing in 10-team leagues that we always have to consider. Yeah. Is it a deep one? Like, is it a 10-man, 10-team league? So you're looking at the best 120 players in fantasy.
Yeah.
If that's the case, or is it a 12-man league, a 12 players team, 120-man league? That's what we need to be observant of. Dante DiVincenzo is a higher overall than Trey Jones. I picked up Trey Jones on the waiver wire last week, one day before Ja Morant went out. I was, what do we say, kissed on the dick. That's blessed. You know what I mean? Like, I've managed to get a starting point guard back in there. And for me, that's what I have to think about there, Changy. So for me, I think you're absolutely fine. I've been running Dante DiVincenzo. He's been on a heater lately. That's my initial thoughts off the top of my head. And I own both of those players in the one team as well, by the way. So I own Dante and Trey. So if I had to drop one, I'd be dropping Trey. That's me. Skiddy?
Righto. My thing is that they both of them's upside isn't enough for me to just continuously hold for the whole thing. If I see someone better on the waiver wire, I will rotate them through. I think you can't go wrong either way. I think Trey's going to give you more assists. They both need a bit more playing time, but Dante seems to be getting a little bit more of the ball now that OG Anunoby's in there, and Thibodeau's actually letting some of the other players play besides just Brunson and Randall. So I think you can't go wrong either way on that. I think that Trey Jones, if he got the all-in-all starting point guard position at the Spurs, then you take Trey Jones over that. There's more potential to have 10 assist games than Dante would be able to do. But I think you can't go wrong either way there, mate. I'd still just keep rotating them when they have a shit game, and then just bring in someone else that's looking a lot better. But that's my thoughts on that. And then we got Matt Carmody, I believe his name. So
Carmody rhymes with Harmony.
That'll do. I like that. Which Pelican players do you expect to sit tomorrow, with all of them listed as probable for the first of the back-to-back? Right. So, yes, he is saying that McCollum, Ingram, Zion, and Trey Murphy are all game time decisions.
Yeah.
Against Dallas tomorrow. Right. That is. I think that they're doing that a little bit precautionary from after today's game against Denver, to see how close that is, how much game time they all have to play. They are traveling, I believe, from Denver to Dallas, I think. So I think it's going to be I think that Matty, I think that one is probably based more on today. Not many of them have had injury problems as of late. They've all been playing, but I think that depends on how close the game is today, how much run they have to get into the leagues today, how physical Denver are going to be against them. And then we can make moves off of that. If McCollum or Ingram, if McCollum sits, then we can start looking at, Dyson Daniels. If Zion sits and Trey Murphy plays, then we can look at him. There's a few players that we can look at because their list is so...
And the only person that we also know that as well, it's most likely going to impact Zion. Like this is a Denver game, and how hard do they push against one of the best teams in the current NBA champions as well? This is a bit of a statement game for the Pelicans, so let's take that into account, that they have almost been like pissed that they lost to the Lakers in such a humiliating fashion in Vegas, to be fair. Like since then, you can just see that the team has coalesced a lot more. I think they really had the shit kicked out of them in the in-season tournament, and that took them by surprise. And I think they've bounced back in ways. We have seen that Zion gets rested on back-to-backs. We've seen, some of that with CJ. How was he pressing? Man, I think it's all up in the air. Trey Murphy gets rested occasionally. I think the one person that could take advantage of all of this, though, would probably be guys like Herb Jones. And if we're in a daily changes league, Matt, we'd be looking for guys to get extra run like Herb Jones, Larry Nance Jr. Probably as well, we're looking for maybe we get some extra Dyson Daniels action, depending on what you're targeting. So that's who I'd be in my pickups there. And look, on the back of that one, let's say right now we're looking at New Orleans, Denver, because we are talking about the Pelicans. So this is the last game of the day. So we're like well out. But let's do that one as well. And thanks, Changy. I will call you Changy.
Yeah, so I like it. You're legend, Changy. Appreciate it, brother. All right, let's get back into our team preview. But we always love the comments that you guys bring. It makes us having to think more into it all, and we're happy to give our insights, as we say. So and this is a good segue into Indiana versus Atlanta. Changy says, well, in context, I also picked up McConnell, so I guess my assists are good. Just looking for some more threes. Fair enough, too. Both,
then Dante DiVincenzo is the look there. He's a spacer. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, Trey Jones ain't a three-point shooter. So, as we all know, with Tyrese Halliburton out, my soul left my body when I saw him do the splits against Boston. My God.
Should have traded me for him.
No, I'm still not giving you him. Mate, I'll tell you what, that hurt my groin, the way that happened. Oh, that sucks. Jarris Walker is also out.
Are you okay? Are you okay? I didn't mean to message you this earlier the week I saw you. Emotionally, can I support you in any way? Do you need me to take off the burden of Tyrese Halliburton on your roster? Please, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, we're good with.
Mate, that hurt. Yeah, but also, too, as soon as I saw it, I did pick up TJ McConnell in 2 leagues. Even though he's not the starter, mate, geez, he's so good. He's probably the best small white guy to play since Matty Dellavedova. He's
a hustler, man. He's been a hustler, and this is a really interesting. This is, I think, the biggest shakeup in fantasy that we can talk about right now, because there's actually a bunch of dominoes that have fallen to Tyrese Halliburton injury. Yep. TJ McConnell was most likely going to be traded by the Indiana Pacers. I've sworn this black and blue for day one. He is almost out of the rotation, but he's been a desirable piece by a lot of championship contender teams because of what he's doing right now. And this is a guy who wasn't playing much, getting 8 minutes a night and some chip-ins. Mm-hmm. But Tyrese goes down and he steps up. In fact, I was doing the pod with Kingy over on Fantasy Basketball International the other night, the trade talk one, and the injury talk came up. And I actually think, again, Bruce Brown, shout out to Brano. I hope Brano's listening. Brano, if you're listening from inside Fantasy Sports, Brano, if you're listening, put it in the comments, because he's picked up my cheeky ad. Bruce Brown. Yeah. Bruce Brown has been fantastic in lieu of the absence of Tyrese Halliburton, and he's available in a lot of rosters and a lot of positions since he's come back from his injury. Let me actually just check his availability. I think he's been a cheeky pickup because TJ McConnell, to your point, Skiddy, has been brilliant. Best white guy. He set and back to that Kingy thing as well. He set the industry pickup record for $350-something for being picked up in an industry pickup league. So everyone wanted to have him on the roster.
Jesus.
And Bruce Brown has gone up considerably from about 50% ownership, now up to 62% ownership, which means he is available in some leagues on Yahoo. He's gone up 3% in the last day. So he was 59% yesterday. He's climbed up from just over 50. Just look to the ball to go through Brucey Brown. So saw that this morning. I picked up from Brano, and I was like, yeah, good boy, Brano. Good pickup. Love that one there. And a good pickup as well if you want some extra funds in your, because we're going to start to put together our multi soon, is our good friends over at Bonus Bank. Now, if you get your parlays and your multis and your punts on and you want to learn more about match betting or put your odds in, you get that text message saying you bet with Mate's account. It's got $100 in it right now. Go and do something. Well, how can you maximize that for return? Bonus Bank can teach you how. If you use promo code INSIGHT, you get 25% off your first month subscription. So make sure you give those guys a shout. Who was our winner today in Indy, Atlanta, apart from Bruce Brown and TJ McConnell for their owners and extra minutes for all these guys like Nemhard? Who do you think is going to pull this one out?
I don't like the head-to-head in this one, but gee, I said it to you last time that we did the pod, which I think it was last week actually. And I said Indiana Hawks. The line was like 262. It was ridiculous, and I said it was going over.
Yep.
You go, no, it's too high. And you know what?
They bloody
did it again.
It was 150 points. They gave up 150 points in NBA basketball. It's not an all-star game.
The last three times that these teams have played, the total score has been 266, 309, and 273. An outrageous amount of points gets put up when these two teams play. But in saying that, I don't think it's going to happen today. Tyrese Halliburton.
And the overs, and the overs at 250 today. They've dropped it back a little bit because of Tyrese's injury being out. 251, 251 and a half.
Gone down again.
They've dropped it. They've dropped it down. They've dropped it down again right now that I can see is 251 and a half. So look, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole, but what I will guarantee you was Bogdan Bogdanovic over 15 points and Jalen Johnson over 15 points there, because those two guys are doing a great amount. And I don't know who's going to stop Jalen and Bogdan Bogdanovic off the bench. Obi Toppin has been moved back to the bench as well. These Indiana lineups get tinkered with left, right, and center, depending on the matchup. So we'd love to see that one there. Houston and Detroit. This is a question, Skiddy. Have you fallen more in love with the Houston Rockets because your missus is a fan? Yes or no?
Well, yes, I have. That is.
There you go. Are you influenced by your life partner? That's the main question here. That's the real one. I also have Matt Carmody. Yep. I have Trey Jones and Dante in a league. I like the big Ragu over Jones. Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. I prefer, and I own both of them on one team, and I'm a big one there. And the other question from him following it: can you drop Strus in a 10-man points league? Well, let's not rush to it.
Yeah,
let's not rush it, because we all know that he's got a bump right now over in Cleveland. It's been a one-game week. Let's not overreact to Cleveland players playing once this week. And I'm in a team where I own Donovan Mitchell. Fuck me, this breaks my heart. I own Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and my boy Nick Claxton. So you can imagine the fun week that I've had having those four absolute weapons only play once. So let's not overreact to Cleveland. You might have seen some guys like Max Strus. And again, in a 10-man points league, there's probably some options you can stream in, but he's consistent.
Yeah.
And that's what we want from our players for Maxi Strus. And he's got obviously a bump in the interim. Darius Garland is nearing a return, though, so let's keep our eye on that. Was that the card that just went past?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell was that? As being a Cavs fan, I do watch every Cavs game. So, Matty, I think in a 10-man, I would normally say you could drop, but we don't know how serious this knee is. He's still listed as game time decision. I don't think it's like super long term. He is the third scoring option, tied third scoring option with Jared Allen behind Mitchell and LeVert as being the main three-point shooter when he's out there. He can put up points in bunches. So if you're still holding, I don't mind streaming him through to find, having another waiver wire spot, especially in a 10-man, depending on how big it is. If you're sitting pretty at the top, I would hold. I think he's potential to be able to pop off for, 20 points. In any game is pretty valuable in a league. But, mate, 10-man, if he's not making the cut and he's just sitting there doing nothing and he's only getting threes and fours or whatnot, you drop his ass and you move on to someone else. But, Houston, Detroit, I'll tell you what, one thing I really want, I know there may be a little bit of bias here coming because my misso goes for the Rockets, but
she does.
We need to get Alpi Şengün into the All-Star game. That man is dominating, and he is so bloody good. I love watching Şengün play. That's fantastic. So they're coming up against Detroit today.
Rolling. What?
Heavy favorite. Houston heavy favorites with a -8 at the line, 226 over under. No Brooks and Eason still, and Detroit. We might be getting Isaiah Stewart back, which means that he'll probably slide back into the starting power forward spot because being the worst power forward in the NBA is a good thing for him. So that's good. Bogdanovich game time decision. Cade is out again. So we get Killian Hayes back into currently first. No, hold Streets for now. Yeah, absolutely. Hayes is back into the starting lineup. So we can you can keep running Killian if you want some assists and some defensive stats. He can provide those. Don't know about
Alec Burks has been a nice stream option there as well. So pulling him in where right. So
yep, I agree there. So I don't know if there's much to say. I don't think Houston have been playing the best ball at the moment. Detroit still suck.
Cam Whitmore. The only interesting thing there is Cam Whitmore getting some more minutes here and there is interesting to keep our eye on with the Tara Eason. So look, do keep your eye on what's happening with Cam because we all know that he blew up in the summer league and he showed out in the preseason and everyone was excited. Look, he was the bargain basement steal of the NBA draft this year, in my opinion. Like he's one of those guys that in 2 or 3 years' time, you're going to see like the number whatever tattooed on his like the number like what was he 26th pick? What was he in the end?
20th.
Where did he go in the end? 20th. That's right. You're going to see like the number. You're going to see like the number 19, like just randomly tattooed on Cam Whitmore. And someone's going to ask him like, "What are your tattoos about?" It's like, "This is 19 guys picked before me, and I'm going to kill them."
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like he just wants to go out there and obliterate 19 guys who were drafted before him in the NBA draft because that's his kind of mentality. Because he dropped a lot because of his reported effort and his attitude and off-court stuff. And so he's going to work back into this Houston Rockets team, which is young. Guys like Tara Eason aren't getting that much shown out. Amen Thompson isn't getting shown out that much. This is a team that could really roll out their young talent in the future. Here's a dynasty pickup. So if you're in a dynasty league and people are unhappy, or maybe you could pry Cam Whitmore away because I think he's got a bit of a future and he's just not going to get it now. And Alec Burks, again, was the other ad there. Isaiah Livers, we keep our eyes on these guys and Sasa and where that's going. The Clippers versus the Grizzlies. He's back, thank goodness. Jaren Jackson Jr. And the Clippers are fantastic. Can I just say my number one stream right now, and I've picked him up in a league and I'm hesitant to trade him off occasionally, has been Norm Powell.
Oh,
Powell, wow, Norm Powell off the bench. He just does, I think with the spacing that's in the Clippers, and I think like we're not talking about the Clippers enough because they're the Clippers, number one, but also because they've just been so good. And it's really hard to get fantasy value, Skiddy, like, you know, when you're performing really well and there's like a rotation in a top performing team, like your Cleveland Cavaliers, Matt, you know, when there's a top team and Evan Mobley's back in and Darius Garland's back in that Cavaliers team, and you look at that starting lineup and there's the fifth option then pretty much becomes Max Strus or equal fifth with Jarrett Allen. So this is where their value takes a hit. So we don't think about it enough because that's a really good basketball team. The Clippers are a really good basketball team. You know, Terrence Mann is the other starter in this lineup, but in the 6-man role, you've got Russell Westbrook and Norm Powell by committee running that unit. And when Norm Powell is out there with a Harden or a George or a Kawhi, he is getting so many looks and the floor, like it's basically just how many open threes would you like in a game? Would you like to take all of them, please? Because we're just going to like only just let's just die by Norm Powell shooting. He tried to take the game winner the other day. And you know what? As crazy as that was against the Lakers, because it was a fadeaway kind of one that you do from 2K, Skiddy. I've seen you do that in 2K way too many times on the sideline. And he nearly hit it. But not one of the guys afterwards, the body language came out, and not one of those blokes went up to him and was like, "You fucking idiot, Norm." So everyone was like, good shot. Good look, bro. A good shot. And this was Kawhi and Paul George doing that. So, absolutely huge look from him.
Yeah, they have faith in him. I think I think that they're just rolling at the moment. The Clippers, they look like they're really, really starting to gel together. Memphis without Santi Aldama, Clark still obviously, John Morant's gone for the season, Derrick Rose is out, and Marcus Smart is now out as well. So that means Desi Bain probably going to be taking over the point guard duties. If Luke Kennard is on your wire, I believe he is the pickup now for the Grizz 100%. until Marcus Smart comes back, but even maybe after. I think there is a chance that Kennard
I think Marcus Smart's out
to start.
I think he's done for the foreseeable possible season-ish. They're expecting 20 games, possibly up to anywhere between 15 to 20 games for Marcus Smart.
6 weeks they've really finger.
Yep, 6 weeks for the finger. Wow. This is the beginning. Is this the beginning of the end? Are they just going to showcase Bane and Jackson Jr. out there until the end of the season as their main two guys for their paying fans and hope they don't get injured? Because they're not going anywhere fast this year.
Yeah, no, they're not looking great at the moment. But in saying that, they have won their last, I think it's their last two, and they just rolled the Phoenix Suns when they had all three of them play. So, I mean, they are playing all right. But I think the Clippers are probably a little bit too strong here.
Way too strong.
They've won their last three. They've beaten the Mavericks, the Suns, and the Lakers in their last three. So, but I don't think they can beat the Clippers. I think the Clippers are just rolling at the moment. They've been looking.
And can I just say, I like here. Let's go 20 points for Paul George as well. 20 points for Paul George and 6 assists for James Harden.
I don't like betting on Clippers games. If you watch that last Clippers games, my brother, he had his last leg of his multi to win was Paul George to score 25, and Paul George had about 3 at halftime, and then Paul George ended up going off for 29 or something like that, and got it home, and it was probably ended up being the easiest watch for him. So I don't really like putting in Clippers players into multis just because there's so many variations of the way that they can run their offense.
Bane 20 points.
Again, mate, that sounds nice, but geez, come up against the Clips. The last time they played, right? I'm going to go back to it because this was the thing that cost me out of $1,000, and I was pissed off at it. Grizzlies are the slowest paced team in the NBA without Ja Morant. So that means that they use more of the shot clock than anyone else when they do possession-wise. Last time they played, they had so Paul George had 23, Bane had 18. So Paul George had 23, Jaren had 22, Marcus Smart had 22. They were the only players that scored over 20 in that game. I'm looking more at the big Zoo, who's just been absolutely sensational this year. If I'm going to have anything, he had 15 and 20 rebounds last time, so I'd probably take the overs for Zoo on rebounds because he has been phenomenal for the Clippers. He's basically been used in that role that Clint Capella was used at for Houston when James Harden played there, and it's just if 100%. They can't get anything rolling in the offense, they're just screw it, let's just do a pick and roll with Harden and Zoo and then just throw it up there and Zoo will figure it out.
And he's getting to the rim too, whatever is
easily.
Harden has been getting to the rim with more aggression than we've seen. Even the memes are even out there right now as well. With I haven't seen James Harden cut since Oklahoma City, and this is I think. And can I just be honest? And you know this one from the Cavs days. This is 100% a Ty Lue initiated offense, and I think LeBron in the locker room was like, "What do you think of Harden?" It's it's not Harden, it's Ty Lue. This is the kind of system that he has rolled for years. He is one of the best coaches in the NBA, and he's just putting these guys to work, doing real well. We'll avoid that one. Orlando and Miami. Let's get through these last ones here. We got a few more. We got 5 more to go. Orlando and Miami. Any real pickups here? Cole Anthony is off the injury report, which we like to see. Wendell Carter Jr. is questionable at last check-in as well. Look, it's by committee there. Mo Wagner seems to be the most consistent guy that's been around for them, to be fair. So I like Mo Wagner as a stream here. Markelle Fultz, just to see how he ramps up. I don't think he'll top over 25 minutes.
Nah, he's still on that minutes restriction. But he seems the quietest return of it, ever. I remember watching the game and I went, "Who the hell is?" Oh, that's Markelle Fultz. When the fuck did he come back? What the hell's going on here? But he was back, and I think they're really trying to ramp him up. We said it last week that Caleb Houston is a real. Oh, it doesn't feel right, but geez, it could be a pickup because he can knock down threes. But then he can get some rebounds. But geez, he can also destroy.
He seems really comfortable. He seems really comfortable in this offense.
I don't like it. But, I think Houston, you could roll out there. But, I'm staying away from this game just purely because I got no idea what Miami's lineup's going to be because it looks like Butler is still going to miss with that toe, but he is now questionable. Sorry, not questionable. Doubtful, same as Tyler Hero and same as Kyle Lowry. That means that who runs the ball through the point guard position? Probably
RJ Hampton.
Yeah.
You get some Hampton guard. You get some old NBL superstar RJ Hampton from the New Zealand. It doesn't sit right, does it?
That's yuck.
It's not good. It's yucky.
Nikola Jovic. He had I think he had 6 assists last time that the Heat played. I think he went 6-6-6. If my memory is correct, against OKC, he had 15, 5, and 4 in his last game out against OKC, and then against the Rockets he had. Where is Jovic? 6, 8, and 6. So he's getting a couple of stats. Like, it's Miami. It's just next man up mentality.
Love that for them. It's what they do. It's what they do. Duncan Robinson has been a drop. Josh Richardson might get some more burn because they have been rolling him out as their default point guard, shooting guard as well. So you could probably look for Joshua Richardson to get some love there. And Kevin Love, by the way. Caleb Martin is back.
He's back as well, yeah.
Kevin Love has been playing real solid. Don't underrate what Kevin Love can bring. Good percentages across the board, good solid rebounds, good assists, gets you some points. It is Big K Love. We love the bloke. He's the kind of guy who could randomly just see moved at a trade deadline every year. And will he change a team's destiny? Maybe in 2 games, but not all the time.
No, but, you could have worse pickups than having a crack on Kevin Love because, he definitely could bring out 15 points, 10 rebounds, a couple of assists, like 2 threes, fair fantasy stat line for your day. But that's all right. We'll move on to the next game. What is the next game? Is that Chicago?
Portland and Minnesota. Awesome. McDowell playing. No, it's not McDowell. Look out. It's Doo-Wop Reith. You might think that you might think they look very similar because of how wonderful and Australian they are and because of big boards they just love to chew. But it's Doo-Wop Reith has been an absolute stud for these guys lately. He's been playing huge. He'll be about anywhere up to 25 to 30 minutes a night in their center rotation. Jimmy Grant's been valued for people who are playing him, but who really wants to own him? Scoot Henderson again continues to start in the point guard spot here alongside Anthony Simons. Brogdon is off the injury report today, which is the big one to keep money, and Shaedon Sharpe is out. And with Shaedon Sharpe being out, this is what really gives us that Scoot Henderson opportunity. Scoot has been playing, would you say well or poorly?
I would say that he is probably playing at where is allowed for a rookie point guard. He hasn't been playing well, I would say, but that's learning, that's growth. He had a minus 56 in the plus minus yesterday, so that's a good effort.
Oh, he also had 21 shots.
Yeah, and hit
21 shots. He hit 4 of them.
Oh,
and
good.
He single-handedly was responsible for killing your field goal percentage in many leagues. So congratulations to you, one Scoot Henderson. Yeah. But he can be better than that. Again, this is the thing that we argued about a couple of weeks ago. Scoot Henderson is the number 2 pick overall. He's a lottery pick. He is.
3.
He can, this is 3, overall. This is the guy who we want to pick up here and there in spades. If you're punting field goal percentage, here's your dream. The assists were down last game, only the 2, but he has been doing those multiple double-digit assist games. He does run it, but it's also the fact that who he's passing the ball to misses a lot of shots as well because they're not very good.
That's fair. And DeAndre Ayton is now doubtful, so he's upgraded from out, which is good to see. Rudy Gobert for the Timberwolves is game time decision. So
Nas Reed time. Nas Reed.
It's back to Nas, but geez, Minnesota have a minus 16 handicap here. I think this is just going to be an absolute killing. I mean, look, they lost by 62 yesterday to the Thunder, and now they have to travel to verse the best in the West in Minnesota. At least Portland are rested. Points. They were all bloody out of the game by halftime, so that's a plus for them. That was disgusting. I'm glad that I didn't watch that game at all. So, I think Minnesota are just going to kill them, but it's not worth the price. What are they, $1.08 or something like that? So
not even worth thinking about.
Even better.
Yeah, that's good. Not even a question. It's lackless and lifeless that will be the Portland Trailblazers today. Let's see how many points they get beaten by. See if they can set an NBA record for 2 games in a row. That would be huge. Next up, we've got the Golden State Warriors and the Chicago Bulls. Just Bulls. The Bulls are looking okay.
Yeah.
And I've changed. I've been a big staunch advocate that they were not very good to begin the season. But the thing that in the last game is it was balanced offense by committee. Everyone was knocking their shots. Everyone was playing team ball. Alex Caruso in the starting lineup is a good fit. Beside Kobe White, Kobe White can get you some random defensive stats in this one. Oh, we've got a question again from Maddie. Do you think Simmons, Ayton, Grant, and Sharp could get shut down towards the end of the season? Let's go through that. No, yes, no. I think at the end of the day, they would like to focus on some of the youth movement in Portland. So we know that they've done these things with Simons before, and we know it's Portland, and we know that they're quite active in doing this. They have done it for years, so this isn't a new we suck situation for them. Skiddy, is it? This is history repeating for itself with the Trailblazers when they're not having a good one.
Simons, I don't think so. Sharp, I definitely don't think so. Ayton, I think he's about 50-50. He's still young, but they still need him to be in with this group. And
be
Grant,
good in the future, yeah.
Look, Jeremy Grant, his back acts up at the end, when it gets to about March, he's just like, my back. Oh, it's done again.
Geez. Oh, my spasms. I've got the Ben Simmons.
3 years in a row, two in Detroit, one in Portland. Oh my God. And his back's done again. So I think there is a fair chance that Jeremy Grant's back might end up he gets that March back madness. MBM is what we like to call it.
No question about it. I'm ready to get hurt again.
So I think Grant's a yes, but the other ones, I think there's a chance that the other three will continue to play through.
In priority shutdown, you go Grant, yes. So Grant definitely, I think,
will be Grant, Ayton, Simons, Sharp,
yeah.
Yep. No Grant shares, thank God. So yeah, I think Golden State have looked shit house. In fairness, we've got to be 100% out here with that. They have looked horrible without Draymond, without Payton, their two main defenders. Then Chris Paul as well now out, Moody out as well. Chicago.
I got aggregated a little bit actually on this one. I've got a big question for you with all these outs. Okay. I got aggregated because in that trade show with Kingy, I did a Kyrie versus Curry. I wanted to go back to some old heads.
Okay.
I said I would actually take Kyrie right now. I like I like how he fits in the Dallas landscape. And there's been, and I feel dirty saying it. Steph Curry has not been very good, mate. In the last 2 weeks, what do you think Steph Curry has been rated in fantasy basketball?
Oh, mate, it'd be horrible because he had that shocker the last game where he scored 15 and shot about 21 shots.
He has been the 44th ranked player in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
And you never think Kyrie has been one.
Yeah, but then again,
Kyrie has been one.
That was without Luka, and he took the absolute piss. But
he absolutely took the piss. But this is the thing as well. But in the last week, where do you think Steph Curry has been? This is the biggest question. Where do you think Steph Curry has been? Worse than that. 180th.
Jesus Christ! Luckily, it's only 2 game sample size, or 3. But
jeez.
Let's.
But we need to get back on it.
Yeah, he needs to get back on it.
You never think you'd see it, Skiddy.
He said, I think he needs Draymond to be to be able to get more of his open shots and having that extra playmaker out there as well. So, there is Warriors need to pick their shit up because they've been horrible. Last time that the Warriors and the Bulls played, Vucevic actually absolutely exploded. He had 43 and 13 against Kevon Looney. So. He does like to space the floor against them. If he gets his full minutes back, then there is a good chance that Vooch can have a big one here. I'm with you. I'm going Chicago today. In Chicago, and Warriors just look shit. So,
and I've got big news. I've got big news, Skiddy. It's just dropped. I got news that's just came, and I'm putting this on my heart, on my sleeve right now, and saying I'm making this happen. The All-Star game in 2026 is going to be in LA. In the brand new Clippers Arena. In 2026, it's going there. I am going to the All-Star game in 2026. It's 3 years. It's 2 years away. I'm going 100%. Right. I've said the next one that goes to LA because I can stay over there. So it's going to be at the Intuit Dome. At the Dome. Wait, is that in? Is that in Vegas?
No.
Oh no, that's their new Intuit Dome. So that's their brand new arena. It's going to be hosted there. So, mate, 2026 also. Skid, come over. Let's take an insight trip.
Let's see how. All right. That sounds good.
All-Star game, 2 years. We can save for that one. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, bloody oath. Yep. No, that sounds great, mate. Perfect. Can't wait.
Charlotte and San Antonio.
Yep, Charlotte and San Antonio. So we've got no Zach Collins for San Antonio. Big news for Charlotte, obviously, as we recap before. LaMelo Ball is back.
Huge.
Cody Martin is game time. Ntilikina is game time. PJ Washington game time. And Williams and Hayward are both out. So obviously we keep rolling with Nick Richards. It's going to be interesting to see how many minutes Ball does play today. I wouldn't expect that he plays a full game out. Yeah, and then we see how that rolls with. We've got San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama. Jeez, what about that last time? 21 minutes played, triple-double. Absolutely took the piss. I know it was against Detroit. I don't care. That was still very impressive for a rookie to be able to do. Yeah, and another interesting game here. I'm a little bit fitty on this. Spurs.
I'm leaving it well enough alone.
Yeah,
I'm leaving this one alone. Trey Jones for plus 4 assists over is probably the only thing that I'm looking at there because he is back in the starting lineup. Keldon Johnson continues to be great off the bench for the San Antonio Spurs. But Bradham is back, so let's just watch how this rotation goes for the San Antonio Spurs. And if you're looking out and watching out for the best home loan you can possibly get, make sure you check out our friend Ryan from Astute in Newstead. Don't get pigeonholed into one lender. He specializes in residential home loans with over 50 lenders on a panel, including the major banks. He doesn't even charge a fee like other brokers. They offer personal, vehicle, and business loans. But if you're looking for that refinancing especially, give a shout out to Ryan. His number is 0431 766 784. That's 0431 766 784. Or let him know at ryanh@edenwealth.com.au and use the promo code INSIGHT. Just say that I've just listened to Insight and I looked you up and tell us how I can get better with my money. And he'll hook you up with that one. Toronto and Utah, who's good on the money there, mate?
Let's have a look. See, sorry, I was putting Victor Wembanyama in for 4 assists because he's paying $2 for that, so I actually like that. And I would appreciate you backing me on that. So thanks.
I will. I'll back you on that one. Yes, beautiful. Let's go.
All right.
Does it seem like Toronto plays basketball now every single day?
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Actually, like they seem to just always be on the game. So on this West Coast road trip, because they've had Lakers, Clippers, and now the Jazz. So.
Rolling through the West Coast.
Aren't they just?
Rolling with my homies.
I'm going to take Utah here, mate, because, geez, they have looked pretty bloody good
they have,
in the last couple of games. They've knocked off the Nuggets, the Bucks, and the Sixers in their last 3 games. I think this road trip for Toronto, I think they can take them out here because there's no Jakob Poeltl. Pascal Siakam is now a game-time decision.
He's moved up to questionable. Is this the back spasms trade thing we're doing about? It seems to be that he got the last minute the other day. I think this trade is edging closer every single game. I just think Pascal's getting close to being traded, and they don't want to roll him out there and something happens to get injured. I have those ickies. I have those feels that something's going on.
You really like that conspiracy theory for the NBA?
I am. You're just like, so deep into the NBA conspiracy trade theories. Nothing's done. They put him at the last minute. Kevin Huerter's played 1 minute the same day that Pascal was traded, and I'm out there just doing my little red wires between 30 NBA teams right now to see where they could go.
Bloody hell, mate! Or you could just have a back spasms. Like no, that Shaq's agreeing with you. He reckons that Siakam's gone. He's getting traded, so he's on the same conspiracy theory as you, mate. He could just have back spasms. You don't know. He might just have back spasms. So
it's the bloody No. Hold up now. I swear to God, Skiddy, the standard response now. I'm a gorgeous 44 years old. I have back spasms. I am not a professional athlete. Now I know that these guys put themselves through the ringer a lot more than this old bloke right here. Yeah. But they also have a degree of professional treatment to play. I woke up this morning. I had back spasms, and I'm doing. I get it. It happens, but I'm just saying under the circumstances of when that happening from being completely healthy in a Lakers game and, the other day to then getting onto this Clippers game and then not playing last minute. And we all know that the trade talk has been out there. The Sacramento Kings have been trading for him, not trading for him 5 times, like in the last hour. I'm pretty sure they were in, then out, in, and then out. And I'm just curious to see where it happens. And we need to watch the Atlanta Hawks situation. We're not getting this bullshit with DeJounte Murray. they've been quite open that he's on the trading block and that he's going out there. The man continues to go to work, get the job done, and Atlanta is rolling out their lineup to showcase. So I'm with Matty Carmody on that one. Like I could see him being traded. So too with me, you know. But Pascal, I think Pascal goes. I think Pascal goes. And the thing and no one goes out there in their right bloody mind and says, I don't want to go to Sacramento because I don't think it's going to fit because they can't pay me max money. It's like they're looking for a trade partner for him to know where he goes, Skiddy. That's all I'm thinking, mate. Like if he plays, just watch the minutes because I don't think it's going to be that many.
Yeah, okay. No, mate. Look, I'm not against like Pascal getting traded either. I just think that every single time that he's got like something wrong with him, everyone's going to go, "Oh, he's going to get traded." They're sitting him all they go.
We probably are.
Well, maybe, but maybe not. We've seen it before where people have. How about Harrison Barnes, where he got traded from the Mavericks to the Kings and he was mid-game? Like, you know, sometimes they don't always sit him. You know, just pops up the graphic on the screen. Harrison Barnes is on the bench, and it just comes up. Harrison Barnes has now been traded to the Sacramento Kings, and he's just like.
But it's not been a centerpiece. Harrison Barnes is not a centerpiece of an organization, which Pascal has been. Like he was
pretty good He was pretty good when he got traded.
Yeah, he was okay, but he's not a Pascal Siakam. Like, you know, they've hung their hat on Pascal for the last couple of years. And if you look at this lineup right now, quickly, Barnes is only in his third year. Pascal and Thad Young. Mm-hmm. And if you look down the names, Gary Trent's been tenured there, Boucher's been tenured, they're giving him minutes. But
Pirtle
is injured, but here's an acquisition from last year. This is now completely a reshaped and reformed side in Toronto, and Pascal is the last holdover from that old era with Kyle Lowry, Pascal, OG, Kawhi Leonard that year that he was up there. So it's the last holdover, DeMar DeRozan. This is the last of that organization coming through. It's really Pascal, and this is the new breed. So I see it possibly on the cards here. I'm with you on Utah getting the win today, and I'm very happy to go 25 points for Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I'm happy for him.
I'm worried about the length. Well, Markkanen normally beats players with his length and then being able to speed and then being able to muscle. But I think if Pascal plays and then Barnes as well, they've got enough size and length to be able to kind of slow Markkanen down a little bit. But if Pascal doesn't play because of his back spasms, then I agree.
Slower or if he's a bit slower with being a little bit injury and pulled. I just see Lowry going. I see Lowry going for 25. Oh, let's bring him down to like 20 points plus, and I'll be very happy for Lauri Markkanen to get some of that action there. Like I'm a big believer in him. Big believer.
I can agree with that. Also, Jordan Clarkson's been playing out of his fucking mind off the bench.
Oh my God, hasn't he?
Getting his new role, and they've just gone, Clarko, do your thing, mate. And he's like, you know what? I actually know how to pass the ball now because I'm playing in the bench unit. He's been passing beautifully. He's had a double-double off the bench. He's been nearly getting double-doubles off the bench. He's still been nearly scoring over 25.
And Keontae George and him look really comfortable together.
They look very nice together. And George I think he's appreciating the fact that they're not fully relying on him to have to handle 100%. The ball every single time. He's got like Clarkson as a safety blanket, and he can do a little bit more of his thing.
I'm just going to wrap myself in Jordan.
Yep. Jazz look pretty deep at the moment. I don't know how Fontecchio is now looking like, one of the best small forwards, but he's playing bloody well.
And he was, and I said this the other week.
Not a fantasy pickup, though. Don't pick up Fontecchio.
No, I say he is absolutely a fantasy pickup. He's been filling it up across the line, especially not today. You don't pick him up today because there's every single chance that, look, if your worst player is the worst player, 100% go for it. Have a look at Fontecchio.
If you're deep teams, yeah. If you're deep teams, I still think there's better.
I think there are better, but I just think he's been really, really good. And the thing with him as well is that he has been really solid over his last games, but he had a crap one the last few. And that was the thing. The second that you want to pick up a guy, he's gone down 18% in the last day. So I'm just going to keep my eyes on him to see if he regains that form, because he was going for 12, 24, 16, and then it went to this sevens. But it's the other stats that he gives you across the line. So he's always going to just chip you in a little bit across. He hasn't been as good as he was when he was getting his 30 minutes a night. And his minutes, when they drop back to 33, 32, but 20 last game as well. So I'm just curious to see where it goes, because he has been dropped an incredible amount. He was rostered at 29%, and then he went on a shit show. So just keep your eye on him, though.
It's exactly what I said, though. Like, people are jumping to the bit to get Fontecchio, and then he's probably going to come out and play like shit. And that's exactly what he's happened. Like, people see a big game from someone and then go, oh, yeah, shit, we got to go try and pick him up. But you don't get that score. Like, that's done. That's in the past. Like, it's just an anomaly. I think Will Hardy is just coaching beautifully, and he's just kind of throwing out
great
whatever
coach.
rotation. And all these guys, you can see that they're connected, and he can throw out a number of different lineups. Hence why Kessler's not starting every single game, and they've got Collins out there, and then they can work in with Dunn and Sexton and Abaji and all these different players.
This is a great matchup with that. You're spot on, Skiddy, man. Like this is the team. This is the perfect team not to play traditional center with Jakob Poeltl being out of their rotation. So rolling Collins out there with this lineup is a really great. I actually think this could be a really fun, fast game of basketball to watch. The way that they both move it, and with the offensive firepower that Toronto's brought into their team. And we all know that Colin Sexton is instant offense because that's what he thinks about. And Chris Dunn, he's been playing really well in this starting lineup. Thoughts on him in the stream? Look, I like it. 12 team 9 cat. Maybe, yeah, you could bring him in, but maybe not today. Like I would probably.
No, I don't mind it today because he's got a back-to-back. So I don't mind it because you pick him up for 2. My thing is about Chris Dunn is, and I will always have this thought on Chris Dunn, he's steals for me. Like I think he gets. It's good steals, but he also can get good blocks as well from the guard position. Think like Dennis Smith Jr. kind of thing with less scoring. That's the way I say Chris Dunn. So I mean,
he had a great burn at the Atlanta Hawks with that, where he was like doing 2 stocks every game for at least for ages.
I feel like it's worth a pickup if you need defensive stats. I think that's really good on the back-to-back to be able to get that. To be able to get Chris Dunn in, and he also gets you a fair amount of assists when they give him majority of the ball if it's not Clarkson or George or Sexton. So they really do like
100%.
to roll with the other ones. I like it if you're going for if you don't need points, then you definitely go with Dunn. But if you need points, you go with Sexton or something else. But I like him as a pickup on a back-to-back to get all the other stats that aren't points or anything like that.
And there's a few teams out there on the back-to-back for this weekend as well. So we've got the Hawks, the Bulls, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Magic, the Spurs, and the Jazz. What did you see? Here we go. Could use some steals. Yeah, that's the go. Bojan. Yeah. Bojan Bogdanovic just got right.
Yeah, so I'm taking Rockets. I don't think
100%.
Detroit have enough. Detroit don't have enough firepower to be able to keep up with the Rockets now. That
no way. Cheeky Asar Thompson stream in for the day, possibly. Does Asar get bumped into that starting lineup because he has been dropped like a hot potato in so many leagues? In fact, I was surprised. The ship has sailed on him from that start at the beginning of the season, and he has been dropped and dropped and dropped. Yep, he is now down to 43% rostered.
Yep.
In Yahoo leagues, down 4% in the last day. So he is definitely one you want to keep your eye out. So the back-to-backs, like you did say, Skiddy, were the Spurs with the Jazz, with the Spurs, the Magic, the Pels, the Grizz, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Bulls, and the Hawks. So we're rolling those for a back-to-back. And the Pelicans and the Pels. So if you were running a back-to-back there, if you have availability on this 10-game day, and you most likely will have an available game you could with 8. It's 2 days where there's a big slate. It's not like a 10 and a 5. So I've got a 10 and an 8. So the chances of you having the same position available both is low. So obviously choose your best optional weapons between those ones. And for Saturday, there's only one team with the 8 and the 5 for Saturday and Sunday, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. We're looking for our Bobby Portises, our Beasleys, and just our fringy players around there if we're looking to get over the line with our Saturday and Sunday back-to-back, Skiddy.
Yep, I agree there, mate. We got the last game of the day. We roll in with the Pelicans versus the Denver Nuggets. I think this is going to be the game of the day pretty comfortably, I believe. Green game time decisions for McCollum, Ingram, Zion, and Trey Murphy. I think they all play. Matt Ryan's out. And then for Denver, we've just got Julian Strawther out. So Denver pretty much at full strength. I think this is going to be a great game, Matty G. Denver are -6 favorites, which is interesting to me because I didn't think they've been looking like the Denver we've been, expected to see from the reigning champs for the last couple of games. They've lost to the Jazz, they belted Detroit, but then they lost to the Magic in their last 3, while the Pels have smacked the Warriors and smacked the Kings. So they are rolling quite nicely. The last time that they played, the Pelicans did beat the Nuggets by 5. That was in November, so 2 months ago. So I think this could be a very, very tight game. Obviously,
I think the Pels get it. I'm actually going to go on the line. I have the feeling that on the back-to-back that again, this is a team that's been aggressive since that defeat in the in-season tournament. This is the team that we were talking about as a potential NBA championship team last year, and it didn't happen with injuries and everything else getting in the way. I definitely feel like this is a statement game in the Western Conference. I really have. It has all the makings and the machinations of a really, like you said, Skiddy. This is the game of the day for all intents and purposes. This is going to be a really great game. They match up. The size and the length on these two teams is bloody ridiculous. Val versus Jokic, a couple of big bodies banging, amazing. Gordon and Zion. Gordon can actually he's a strong guy. He can go up against Zion really nicely. Ingram versus Porter Jr., cagey, long. KCP versus Herbie Jones, cagey, long, wiry, big defenders. And Murray versus McCollum, two guards going out. Murray is deceptively big. And so is CJ, actually. Like, both of these guys are deceptively big. And if you have to think about it, their records right now, 26-13 for the Nuggets, 23-15. The Pelicans are on a 2-game win streak. They're bumping up into this top 4. And if they win today, they could probably go up with a loss with the Los Angeles Clippers. They would probably get the bump over and be equal. They'd be in 4th position in the Western Conference, just behind the Denver Nuggets. So this really does become a statement game. Fantasy-wise, we can't really touch anything with the 10-foot pole, apart from Trey Murphy, who possibly is the only look in there, or your Larry Nance or your Dyson Daniels. But on a 10-team day, there's nothing we're gonna really get there that's going to be quality for us and quality of game for us to pull from. So we leave this well enough, and we watch this as basketball fans, because it's going to be an absolute. I believe the word is humdinger. Skinny.
Oh, humdinger! You reckon, Matty?
It's a humdinger. Yeah. I think it's going to be a humdinger. I think it's going to be a great 6 points last time, which that's going to makes it a close contest again today.
So, Jay Weeds, the one thing that I'm looking at, so the 2 games that the Nuggets and the Pelicans have played this year, Pelicans won by 5 last time, and then the game before that, the Nuggets won by 18. In both of those games, let me read out the stats that Nikola Jokic has put up. 35, 14, and 12 in the Nuggets win, and then in the Pelicans win, 26, 16, and 18. So I'm taking Jokic for a comfortable triple-double today at $3.
Put that into the parlay. All right, so let's go through it. We're going to finish up this one. We're going to finish up every week as we do. We don't mince around on it for too long, because we're not allowed to do that on the tube if we use for too long at all. But we will give you our game of the parlay. Skiddy will tweet it on his X account. Should I do it today, or do you want to do it?
No, you go for it, mate. Yeah, I'll let you run it. You chuck in the multi. The only things that I really like today that I'll go through, I like the Kings to beat Philly, Pacers, Hawks, no thanks. Rockets to beat Pistons. You could even take Pistons like as an alt under of their team score of like 106, I'd say.
I've got the Rockets. I've got the Rockets in for the win. I've got the Rockets in.
Clippers in to win. Don't like Magic versus Heat. You can put Minnesota as a $1.06 fluffer, but I don't really care. Bulls to beat Warriors. Fluffy. They don't exist. All right. Spurs and Hornets, I don't really like anything besides maybe Wemby for 4 assists, seeing as they're running it through. I do like the Jazz to beat the Raptors, and I like Jokic for a triple-double.
4 assists. Hold on. 4 assists. Victor Wembanyama for 4 assists is $1.99.
Yes, that's why I like it, because I think it's more value than it is. So I
like
like it.
That's in there. You like the Jazz to beat the Raptors?
Yes.
Yes, you like the Nuggets. We're not going to touch the head-to-head on that one to save our life.
No, just like Jokic for a triple-double.
All right, I'm going to have to get down to that one.
Yeah,
it's under double markets.
Yeah, player performance, and then it's under triple-double.
Right, this is you're so much better at this than me. I'm not even going to lie to start my life.
Mate, it's what happens when you're a degenerate. You've been punting for like 9 years. So
you're not a degenerate. You just have an excellent looking. You have an excellent looking mustache that makes people look. It only has player. It actually only has today player points, rebounds, and assist markets. Ooh, here we go.
No.
Plus.
Gee, scroll down and go to the category where it says player performance double markets, and then go under 2 recorded.
Under the doubles. What's this triple double? Recorded triple. It's not doubles. Nikola Jokic at $2.07.
Well, it is a double because it's a triple double and a double double and a player's performance double, so it's under doubles.
All right, I'll put that in there. With any other single performances for the day that we can look at, a bit of a breakout for us, individuals that we called out here. I said Jalen. Well, we went into the 15 points. Jalen Johnson for 15 points.
Yeah, don't mind
at $1.50 for that. I absolutely love that market.
Yep, I like that.
I like that market a lot. And Bogdanovic, who I also thought could have a bit of a cook off the bench, is $1.44.
I think I like Jalen more than I like Bogey, but again, if you want to put
He's
Bogey
on there.
in,
No, I'll leave it with Jalen. Let's thin the herd this week. Let's thin the herd out. Philadelphia 76ers and the Sacramento Kings, any particular lineup there? I like Keegan Murray for 2 threes at $1.20 as a fluffer.
Okay. Yep. I don't mind that. Yep. No, I'm down with that. I think
that brings us to 10.
Yep, beautiful. I like that as well. For stream wise, like, as we said before about, look for your back-to-backs, look to make sure that you know who is able to fit into your team for the both two teams. We've got 10 today and 8 tomorrow. Just look at what, as soon as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, as we always say, you look at what categories you need and you base it off the players that to thin the herd of how many players, because it can be overwhelming of who you want to pick up and who you don't. I'm in on if you need steals or assists, then I'm rocking with Chris Dunn today. I think he's got a good back-to-back there. Matty, we got an update on Miami. Butler, Hero, and Lowry are all out.
Yep, there we go. So that's great for me in one. That's great for me in one league because I am matched up against Tyler Hero in a league where points are coming in to play quite avidly. So I'm really happy to get that look.
Yeah, in that one, I think Jovic can be a pickup as well if you need a couple of rebounds and just like those little extra kind of stats. I mean, actually, he doesn't have a back-to-back, so actually he can get stuffed.
And they've actually been updated officially that they have been gone from questionable to probable. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram have been upgraded to probable today, so we are that one. And going down, there has been an update on Zion Williamson has just been upgraded to probable as well as Trey Murphy. So it's looking more and more likely as opposed to tip-off time at the end of the day. So I reckon they will run out there. That would suck for me because one of my opponents actually has McCollum and Williamson. So
bugger. Well, you don't want that. And then if you need threes, Luke Kennard is a pickup. Double. He will get the start in both games on a back-to-back. And I think they will. They'll roll out Luke Kennard there to get your threes and a bit of points. So I like Kennard there as the other pickup. Spurs, we can have a go at Trey Jones if you want assists. They got the back-to-back as well. No one. Magic. I mean, you can have a swing on Caleb Houston for threes. That's another one that you can have a go at. Do you like anyone for the Warriors on the back-to-back?
Look, Trace Jackson Davis. Trace Jackson Davis is, I think, their most consistent player in the world, and I love that from him. And so, I just look for him as quality, even over Dario Saric, who had that really great value. But the rise of him has come up. The one thing I will say is that the Trey Jones train is leaving the station. He was initially, when I picked him up last week, he was less than 30% owned, and he's trending up now. He has gone up another 8%, especially with the back-to-back by the Spurs. So he has gone up 8% again in the last day to 58% rostered in Yahoo leagues, which means he is available. Malachi Branham is back and off the injury report. I actually don't see that coming into play. I think this was the plan from day one to give Sohan a run, go it out there. We know the Spurs are tanking. We know that they just wanted to showcase Wemby, get out there and play some young guy basketball and have fun. Pop's holding it together with them doing that. So Trey Jones has now retained that starting job. He has been fantastic in the last 3 games as the starter, perfect from the free throw line. He is elite there. He's in his last 3 games been plus 500 from the floor, the 6, 5, and 5 assists. He's doing it also on minimal turnovers for a younger bloke, 2, 2, and 3 for his minutes, which has been 35, 34, and 27. I love that. Jump on the Trey Jones train now. The Trey train. Yahoo!
Matty G. Absolutely love that, mate. We'll wrap it up, mate. We'll fantastic show as always. We love doing the heat check. Hopefully you guys get something out of this. Hopefully we can get some bets up. Hopefully we can win some coin and we can everything goes out all well. It was an absolute pleasure. My G Whizzle, always.
Wow.
You gorgeous man. Hope you have a beautiful Saturday and a beautiful weekend. And
cook some breakfast.
Appreciate everyone in the chat. I mean, don't we just have the best chat? We
have a great chat. Goes up every week. Shaq 2K, shout out to you again. Always just joining us. we've got Matt Carmody. You're new to us, Matty, and we like you. You're a good bloke, and you said Skiddy was a very attractive man, and we're all for that one. G'day to Chaney as well, and our guy who started it all off, Nick Delaney at the front from Insight Podcast Network. And welcome, everyone. Have a great weekend, just like we know that our boy Nathan Brain on Insight Podcast Network is having, because LaMelo is back and he traded him. And somehow he went from third in the league up to second with having LaMelo. So we should all fear him in whatever respective leagues we have. Make sure you're a opponent Fiju. We hope you get some W's this weekend. Shout out, like, and subscribe. Give us 5-star reviews everywhere, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. Do that one. Make sure you follow us and join our Discord. It pops off. We give personal trade advice in there. We respond to your questions as much as we can. And it's not just NBA. It's NBL. It's AFL and NRL around the season. Skiddy, I know you've got, is it a pod tonight with Mick Dell? You've got another AFL one coming tonight?
Yep. So if any of you guys are interested in AFL Supercoach, me and the big horse, Mickey Delaney, we do the AFL Supercoach podcast. So we got another one coming in tonight. I believe we're doing our backlines and who we can pick up there. So we love a bit of AFL as well. So we're only, I think we'd be roughly around about 50 days away from the AFL season starting. So if you're keen on the Supercoach, come on in, come join me and Mickey Dell. And we might
be streaming after that one. We're gonna say to you, Skiddy, like we're gonna get some lads on for some 2K. Just to jump on and have some chat after you've had a run with Mick Dell on the podcast tonight. Jump on after that one and play some online gaming potentially, maybe.
I might be a bit pissed. Normally when I do
excellent. I absolutely think that is the time of our life. And I'll let you on point guard drunk. It'd be great.
Oh crap. All right, boys. Very much appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. We're out of here.
Peace, everyone. Take care. Bye.